Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Mic check 1 2. Thank you. You may be seated. Honourable members, before we read the order of the day, a concern has been raised about the stuffiness in here. Technical services has been called, and hopefully they will be able to turn down the air conditioning. But in the meantime, maybe do what is logical, and if you need to take off jackets and so on, please proceed. The Secretary will read the order.
Debate on vote number 20, Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities Appropriation Bill.
To introduce the budget, I now recognize the Honourable the Minister of Youth, Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities.
Thank you. My apologies. Honorable House Chairperson and members of the Portfolio Committee on Women, Youth and Persons with Disability, honorable members, I am honored to present the 2024-25 Budget Vote 20 of the Department of Women, Youth and Persons with Disability, as the country marks the 70th year of the Women's Charter. This pioneering charter was drafted by the founding members of the Federation of South African Women, who included women activists such as Helen Joseph, Lillian Ngoya, Dora Matana, and others, the pioneers of the struggle for women's rights, whose contribution will be venerated during the forthcoming August Women's Month. Our democracy, which is now 30 years old, was born out of the struggles waged with dedication and willingness by these pioneers. In doing so, they established the precedents and the tradition of fighting for justice and equal rights for all, which we continue to honor and follow. Indeed, 1994 marked a decisive break from the shackles of apartheid and ushered in a new South Africa, a South Africa founded on democratic values of human rights, human dignity, non-racialism, non-sexism, and freedom for all. As I present our 2024-25 Budget Vote 20, I draw further courage from the words of Meg Gertrude Shope when she posed the question, I quote, "Every generation has a responsibility to know what its mission is. Mine was to liberate the country. What is yours?" Unquote. Chairperson, I believe that the answer to this question must be to ensure that the fruits of liberation and freedom are enjoyed by all. Honorable Chairperson, the youth of this country represent our biggest endowment. Hence, this financial year, we are accelerating efforts to advance the socio-economic empowerment of young people. The empowerment of young people is at the heart of our department's strategic objective. The department has developed the South African Youth Development Act, a framework legislation for youth development in the country. The allocated 2.9 million rand will be used to continue monitoring the implementation of the National Youth Policy across the 3 spheres of government. It is worth noting that the department also amended the founding legislation of the National Youth Development Agency, the NYDA Act number 54 of 2008, to enhance the agency's operational efficiency and good governance. In our 2023-24 budget vote, we made a commitment to Parliament to move beyond advocacy and rally all of government and all of society behind our nation's ongoing war on youth unemployment, low growth as prospects, and a visible sense of hopelessness amongst the marginalized. To this end, on the 21st of May 2024, the Deputy President, Honorable Paul Mashatile, officially launched the South African National Service Institute, ActionSA, an institute that will be responsible for implementing a South African National Defence Force-led National Youth Service for South Africa. The SANDF-led National Youth Service will rally all of government and all of society behind a de-siloed and nationally coordinated effort to reinforce our ongoing war on youth unemployment through value chain-driven and sector-specific skills development, enterprise development, production brigades, and infant industries to power up South Africa's reindustrialization target. SANSI will also equip program participants with character building and leadership skills, as well as technical skills in priority sectors of the economy with high absorption capacity. In addition, the department, working with various partners, is implementing the 4IR Youth Employment Initiative, which trains youth in the fourth industrial revolution areas such as coding, robotics, cybersecurity, and cell phone repair. This will enable young people to fully participate, shape, and reap the benefits of the digital economy. Honorable members, economic is about the power, access, and ownership of resources. Therefore, the relationship of women, youth, and persons with disabilities to economic resources and their ability to secure them will be at the center of our empowerment and equality agenda. To this end, some of the department's priority projects will be in the following sectors of the economy. In the agricultural sector, at the top of our agenda is ensuring that women, youth, and persons with disability have access to productive land. Beyond agriculture, land is crucial for property development, access to credit, manufacturing, etc. To this end, the department signed an MOU with the then Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development to collaborate to unlock economic opportunities for women, youth, and persons with disability in land and agricultural sectors. Our second priority project is on green economy. The department is developing skills in renewable energy and sustainable agriculture, shopping green technology entrepreneurship, and promoting, in fact, supporting green technology entrepreneurship and promoting market opportunities in environmentally friendly products. Recently, the department has placed women who are being trained under the Solar Mama project in India on solar installation, and they will use this valuable skill to contribute to their communities. As a third priority, the department will enhance participation in national and international trade by promoting market access for women, youth, and persons with disability-owned businesses, and leveraging intra-Africa trade agreement for increased market share. The fourth priority will be projects central to our empowerment agenda, which is mainstreaming financial inclusion through cooperative finance institutions. To ensure financial inclusion, the department facilitated the establishment of women-owned cooperative finance institutions, which are currently before the Prudential Authority. This will ensure financial inclusion, self-reliance, and free women from emotional, economic, and physical abusive environments in line with Pillar 5 of the National Strategic Plan, which is NSP. In addition to our department's economic empowerment strategy, we have developed a socio-economic empowerment index through which we will be able to track empowerment and participation across socio-economic sectors, thus promoting a deeper analysis of systemic factors affecting empowerment and how spatial dimensions influence these determinants. Honorable Chairperson, the National Youth Development Agency, NYDA, as a national public entity reporting to our department, is responsible for intensifying service provisions for the young people. The agency will, with its allocated an allocation of 704.3 million rand, continue to implement the revitalized National Youth Service Program. The Presidential Employment Stimulus Program remains crucial for creating jobs and strengthening the livelihoods of young people while the labor market recovers from COVID-19 and other challenges. In its first 3 phases, the employment stimulus has created over 1 million opportunities since its launch in 2020. Over 80% of the beneficiaries and participants were young people, and 60% were young women. The National Pathway Management Network, which is led by the Department of Employment and Labor, is now supporting over 3 million young people, an increase of more than 1 million young people in the past 12 months. Moreover, 1.3 million young people have been placed in earning opportunities on South Africa Youth since its inception. Young women secured over 60% of the placement. More than 80% of the 557 opportunity holders listed on South Africa Youth are in the private sector, highlighting their crucial role in creating jobs. Honorable Chairperson and members, South Africa is one of the most unequal societies in the world. As a result, the department has taken a bold position to close the chasm by ensuring that there will not be any mega project in the country which excludes women, youth, and persons with disabilities in its inception. Every mega project will have to submit the environmental assessment plan that includes women, youth, and persons with disability. Honorable Chairperson, gender-based violence and femicide, GBVF, is a national crisis, with our country's femicide rate being one of the highest globally. It is proper that we deal with GBVF as a national crisis. We therefore need to move beyond slogans and speeches and implement practical interventions which require substantial investment in human and financial resources. His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa assented the National Council on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide Bill, making it an act of parliament, the National Council on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide Act 9 of 2024. There is now an urgent need to set up the board for the council. The setting up of this council is critical for enhancing accountability and strong leadership in government and society at large. However, the reality is that we have no funds for the execution of this important work. Only 5 million was set aside for 3 financial years. We intend to engage the National Treasury for funding of this important project, and that is to happen as soon as possible. The department developed a comprehensive national gender-based violence and femicide prevention strategy. Through it, we will drive a paradigm shift in how we deal with gender-based violence and femicide we deal with it as if it is a pandemic, and ensure that our strategic posture is more proactive through evidence-based prevention interventions. To institutionalize the National Strategic Plan, NSP, the department will ensure that the NSP serves on the agenda of the Presidential Coordinating Committee as a standing agenda item. The department, in dealing with GBVF, will focus on the following: localizing the implementation of the NSP, that is National Strategic Plan, as a gender-based violence takes place at a local level in our homes through setting up institutional arrangements for dealing with gender-based violence and femicide. Prioritizing training and capacity building in the provincial and local government spheres and civil society organizations to change societal attitudes, challenge harmful norms, and promote gender equality. Since 2019, national departments and provinces have been submitting reports on the implementation of the gender-responsive planning, budgeting, monitoring, evaluation, auditing framework. This reporting demonstrates a growing commitment across various levels of government to uphold and advance gender-responsive and inclusive planning and budgeting. In 2023-24, the department extended its reach to state-owned enterprises, and several have intentionally included women and youth and persons with disabilities priorities. We draw our strength from the belief that the fruits from our liberation and freedom are enjoyed by all. Our minuscule budget notwithstanding, South Africa met all its international obligations relating to women, youth, and persons with disabilities. Under South Africa's chairship of BRICS, in 2023, the department successfully hosted the BRICS Youth Summit and Ministerial Meeting, and the BRICS Women Ministers Meeting, where declarations were adopted. I'm proud to inform the House that for the very first time, a BRICS Women Ministers Meeting was held as initiated by South Africa, and the current chair in 2024, which is Russia, is taking up this initiative and will be hosting the second meeting of women ministers in Russia this year. South Africa will also be taking over the chair of the G20 from November this year, and will be continuing the initiative started by India and taken forward by Brazil as its current chair on the establishment of a women's working group. The department is currently developing the National Review Report on the progress made in implementing Beijing Platform for Action, and this national review will undertake wide consultation with the women of the country. We will be launching the country's B30 report in August this year. The total appropriation of the department for the 2024-2025 financial year remains unchanged at 1 billion rand. Included in this minuscule appropriation is an amount of 797.8 million rand, which is earmarked for transfer to the two entities, namely Commission for Gender Equality and the National Youth Development Agency. The remaining budget of 209.8 million rand is the operational appropriation that remains in the department, and this 209.8 million rand includes remuneration and including the staff as well as the ministry as well as all operations. This appropriation includes a baseline decrease amounting to 8.6 million of the operational budget, whilst the appropriation for CGE and NYDA was reduced by 4.8 million rand and 50.5 million rand. These are decreases. The final appropriation for CGE and NYDA is therefore 93.6 million rand and 704.3 million rand respectively. Chairperson, I hold a strong view that if nothing is done about the budget appropriation of the Department of Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities, then we must all accept that we'll be doing nothing more than paying lip service to the betterment of women, the youth and people with disabilities. 209 million rand will not enable us to execute our huge mandate. However, we remain committed to doing our best to achieve our mandate. Honorable Chairperson, I wish to acknowledge the contributions and support made by the Chairperson, Honorable Lindelwa Tunjwa, and the members of the Portfolio Committee on Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities. Furthermore, I also want to thank the Presidential Working Group on Disability, the Disability Rights Machinery, the Youth Machinery and Women's Machinery for their continued support. I also want to thank the development partners for their continued support of the department. In addition, I want to thank the Deputy Minister, Ms. Mapaseka Steve Litsike, who is no stranger on the matters we are dealing with. I also would like to thank the entire Ministry Office staff for their support, our Director General and her team for their hard work. The Chairperson of the CGE, together with her CEO, as well as the Chairperson of NYDA, together with the Senate members. Let's all commit to the responsibility and mission that the fruits of liberation and freedom will continue to be enjoyed by all. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister. Honourable members, the first member to react to the budget is the Honourable Tunjwa from the ANC.
House Chair, may I declare that I've got a problem with my voice. I hope it's not going to affect members who then be able to hear me. In welcoming you, Honorable House Chair, Minister Chikunga, Deputy Minister, and ministers that have joined us, and deputy ministers that are here, members of Parliament from all political parties, the staff of department, I greet you. Silapha namhlanje sizokuthi thaca sizokuphendula koluhlahlo lwabiwomali lale Department of Women, Youth and Persons with Disability. Sitsho ke kodwa sisaqala si-African National Congress ukuba siyaliseka. Kodwa siliseka sinalo nokuvalo lokokuba ingathi ayikho imali xa sithetha nje njengabantu. The year 1995 marked a crucial breakthrough and a promise for the fundamental inclusion of women in the governance of this country. It was a time when women's roles in leading every facet of society began to be strongly recognized as equal to their male counterparts, inspired by the Bill of Rights. The post-1994 era was committed to upholding these principles, including equal opportunities to contribute and lead in various spheres of the life. Kodwa ke masitsho into yokuba kule ndlu yowisomthetho noko sinayo indawo esidanisayo kuba not all political parties have ensured that women are included in this house. It's only the African National Congress, and we are not apologetic about that. Even the strides made, South Africa continues to face challenges that hinder women from fully enjoying their rights. Among these challenges is the abuse of women's rights, which strongly manifested in gender-based violence. Additionally, women are still hindered from assuring opportunities for their full prosperity. This underscores the importance of the budget vote for this department, as it is crucial for addressing these issues and advancing gender equality. Key to addressing these challenges are education and behavioral changes programs, particularly those targeting men and boys. Highlighting the importance of such initiative is crucial to preventing gender-based violence. Serious collaboration with institutions of basic and higher education, as well as societal platforms like sports, arts, and culture, should be employed as tools to promote behavioral change and educational programs. These efforts can help our society to move towards greater gender equality and respect of women's rights. The department has submitted the National Council of Gender-Based Violence and Femicide Bill to Parliament. The Council aims to coordinate efforts from the government, private sector, labor, and civil society to eradicate gender-based violence and femicide in the country. Additionally, the department has developed a comprehensive national gender-based violence and femicide prevention strategy. While the Department of Justice and Correctional Service Development has created the innovative National Integrated Femicide Prevention Strategy. However, these bills, strategies, and plans alone cannot fulfill the eradication of gender-based violence and femicide. Achieving these goals require every member of society to take responsibility in ending violence, promoting social cohesion, and contribute to the nation building. Ithetha ukuthi ke lonto funeka siqale emakhayeni ethu. Collaborations become crucial in this endeavor as they ensure a unified and comprehensive approach to tackling gender-based violence and femicide. Community and involvement plays a crucial role in combating gender-based violence and supporting its victims. Civil society organizations, community leaders, and local organizations are essential stakeholders who can contribute significantly to addressing these issues. By empowering these groups, we can enhance awareness, advocacy, and supportive mechanism with communities. They can provide crucial resources such as space, counseling services, legal aid, and education on rights and preventions. Moreover, community involvement foster a culture of accountability and solidarity, creating networks that amplify violence and promote lasting change. Therefore, it is imperative to encourage and empower these local actors to actively participate in efforts to combat gender-based violence, ensuring comprehensive support and comprehensive support. Key government institutions played a crucial role in the fight against gender-based violence and hence women's rights. Evaluating the impact of these institutions and initiatives, it's fundamental. It's fundamental. Entities like the Commission for CGE and the newly established National Council of Gender-Based Violence and Femicide, established by the recently signed bill into law on the 24th May 2024, are pivotal in driving our strategic initiative. These institutions provide oversight, advocacy, and support mechanisms that are essential for addressing gender-based violence. They ensure that policies are implemented effectively.
Honourable Member, just as your time ran out, your voice also ran out. Thank you. Honourable Members, the next speaker is the Honourable Kanyile from the Democratic Alliance.
House Chair, on the 1st of August 2018, women in South Africa marched in all 9 provinces to express indignation against the increasing levels of gender-based violence and femicide in the country and the ineffective justice system over the past years. In 2019, Uyinene Mkhwetana was brutally raped and murdered, and various NGOs and women again protested in order to force government to take matters of gender-based violence serious and to find a lasting solution. I vividly remember MI Next marching to Parliament, which prompted President Ramaphosa to summon a joint sitting of Parliament on GBV in 2019. There was also the Presidential Summit Against Gender-Based Violence and Femicide. Sadly, 6 weeks ago, we learned of the murder of Chef Tembegile Litlape, allegedly at the hands of her boyfriend. The nation is also grieving another life, the body of 6-year-old Junior Mabandla, who went missing on the 3rd of June in Pinar, Mpumalanga, was discovered a month after his disappearance. House Chair, 18,474 women were victims of assault with intent to cause grievous bodily harm between October and December 2023. 1,135 women were murdered during this reporting period, and over 12,211 rape cases were opened with SAPS. House Chair, looking at the above numbers, this is a clear indication that we are a nation at war with itself. But more importantly, the most vulnerable of society, our women, children, are being targeted and brutalized. We also welcome the replacement of former Police Minister Peggy Cele, who was notorious for making ignorant and reckless statements. In 2022, he said that a 19-year-old woman who was raped along with 7 other women in Krugersdorp West Village was lucky to have been raped by 1 man as opposed to several men. Chairperson, One rape is one too many, as it often leaves victims with internal emotional scars, which often leads to mental breakdowns and women losing their self-esteem and self-worth. We also find comfort in the introduction of Tutuzela care centers, which are one-stop facilities that have been introduced as critical part of South Africa's anti-rape strategy, aiming to reduce secondary victimization and to build a case ready for successful prosecution. Chairperson, on the 19th of July 2023, President Cyril Ramaphosa enacted sign language as an official 12th language. He said, I quote, having sign language recognized as an official sign language will address access to education, economic and other social opportunities, as well as public participation. People with hearing impairments will be able to also access more services, public information, and a host of other opportunities, close quote. Yet, year later, nothing has been done that demonstrates that sign language is now an official language in our country. Chairperson, on a personal note, I was born to parents who are both deaf and hard of hearing, so I have first-hand experience of this social injustice. If we do not accompany them to any of the institutions within our country, they are always turned away without getting any assistance due to communication barrier. This portfolio committee will ensure issues of all persons living with various disabilities will find expression in the work we do. We will use all mechanisms available to us in Parliament to ensure the rights of people living with disabilities are protected. House Chair, for many girls in South Africa, getting their period means putting their lives on hold. Lack of access to sanitary materials often leads to them excluding themselves from school and other social activities during their periods. That means they miss up to a week of school every month, so they start to fall behind and eventually drop out. It was disheartening when I went through one of the reports and discovered that sanitary towels are not distributed to schools. This budget in this 7th Parliament should prioritize every government institution to have sign language interpreters at their area of reception, all communication in various offices to be accompanied with infographic translated into sign language. We will in the near future be conducting oversight in various offices to ensure persons living with various disabilities are catered for as expected. Persons living with disabilities, they form part of an important constituency, and their rights, their voices, their existence matter. We also want them to be reassured that they matter, they are important, and they will be treated as such. House Chair, in this 7th Parliament, we will make it our priority to ensure we visit each and every corner of our country, speaking to various women and persons living with disabilities. We want them to be part of every decision we make in this portfolio. They have a critical role to play in ensuring that they express how they want policies to be drafted to address issues that are essential to them. We want to empower them to stand up and say, nothing about us without us. House Chair, we will conduct oversight on Tutuzela care centers to ensure they serve the purpose for which they are established.
Thank you, honourable members. The next speaker is the Honourable Rikwane of the MK Party. It is a maiden speech. Welcome to the podium.
Am I supposed to use this? Okay. Good afternoon, Honorable Chair, the ministers, members. Good afternoon, and all protocol observed. We, the MK Party, in alignment with our manifesto, the People's Mandate, reclaiming our birthrights, a manifesto towards a developmental agenda. Note the budget presented on behalf of the Department of Women, youth and persons with disabilities. Our manifesto, Pillar 1 to Pillar 7, are self-explanatory and intentional about human development in general. We note the budget and hereby present the following observation. The budget fails to address the escalating scourge of GBVF by not allocating more resources to shelter for survivors and victims of the GBVF. More effort should be placed on prevention on GBVF and assist survivors economically. The focus should be on enhancing the implementation of the National Strategic Plan on GBVF 2020. All the NSP pillars must be prioritized. Uhulumeni kumele enze sure ukuthi abonelele ngokusemandleni ukuthi abantu abahlukumezekile baba nendawo zokuhlala and eziphephile futhi nabantu abazoba responsible for bona kube abantu abaqeqeshiwe, abantu abafana nama social workers. Because survivors are often trapped in abusive relationships due to financial dependence on their abusive partners, the budget must also be used to give them skills that will guarantee them jobs for the economic independence. Such skills include computer literacy and IT, driving licenses, and other soft skills. Socio-economic empowerment should include digital economic empowerment of women across the country, especially those women in marginalized communities. We recognize uhulumeni kumele ngokusemandleni abonelele abomama basemakhaya ngokwezolimo, bakwazi ukuthi abomama basemakhaya baqeqesheke ngokwezolimo, bakwazi nokuthi nabo baqeqeshwe so that they can be able ukuthi basebenzise bathole iland, bathole nezinsiza zokuthi bakwazi ukusebenzisa iland, ngoba esikhathini esiningi abomama basemakhaya baphilisa nemindeni yabo ngokuthi balime. Manje uhulumeni fanele enze sure ukuthi uya assista abomama bakwazi nokuthuthukisa ezomnotho.
Honourable members, this is just a reminder. This is a maiden speech, and I've not heard the Honourable Rekwani being contentious. Please respect.
Okay. Noting the high level of youth unemployment in the country, we, the MK Party, urge the department to be intentional on investing in youth empowerment through the allocated budget to the NYDA. It is important to strengthen the oversight multi-body that will hold the NYDA accountable to all youth across the country. It is critical to consider even the youth le ehlala emakhaya ngoba esikhathini esiningi lama programs we NYDA ayiwatholi faneke i-youth yasemakhaya kufinyelelwe nakuyona ukuthi bakwazi ukuthi kune program efana nale. This should be implemented across all demographic diversity group across the country. We acknowledge the provision that the department has in place for people with disabilities. However, it is noted that there are limited disability-friendly service and facilities within rural areas. And as such, this budget should provide for the introduction of disability-friendly facilities and service across the country. Across the country in all communities. These include health, education, and safety. We commend the adoption of sign language as the 12th official language in the country, and note that it is important to promote and popularize the use of sign language. The use of sign language should be promoted in schools, in churches, and in communities, working in collaboration with the traditional leaders. Our elderly citizens, particularly elderly women in rural communities, are the most vulnerable and under attack by their own family members and community members, and the system which is not providing sufficient protection for them. We, the MK Party, see the need to explicitly budget for specific shelters, homes for vulnerable elderly persons, especially women. The homes should be adequately resourced to be able to provide special care for the elderly, as the MK Party, working with traditional leaders in our communities, we are supporting this initiative. And we would like to see...
Your time has unfortunately expired.
Oh my God. Okay, in conclusion, as MK Party, we wish to see government rolling out programs that are targeted, and MK Party can't support this budget. We are not supporting. MK Party, we are not supporting.
Honorable member, thank you. Yeah. So it was such a well-behaved maiden speech right till the very end. Honorable Kahula has already taken the podium. Welcome, Honorable Kahula, on behalf of the FF.
Ngibonge Chair, but next time ngicela upronounce kahle isibongo sam Kahula.
Kahula.
Ngibonge Chair wosuku. Ningadinwa bafethu la kuyasetshenzwa. As EFF ngiyayi-rejecta le budget ye-vote 20. Isizathu ilesi. First, number one, ngicela nithule ntuthu angidisturb umuntu mina mangabe kudebate. First, number one, la Ward 44 inanda clip kwafika ikhukhula noma nje KZN kwafika ikhukhula. Lezi ikhukhula ezashiya abantu beshonelwe emndeni yabo, abanye belahlekile kuyimanje abakatholakala. Umuntu ohlukumezekayo umuntu wesifazane okwashiya inkubela lezi enganakiwe kuyimanje kwagcina kugijinywa ebethenjiswa. Even today akaze kwenzeke lutho. Emva kwalokho abakakhela izindlu ungasho ukuthi hawu. Abakakhela izindlu manje basahleli laba bethenjiswa bazokhakhelwa khona. Omese isicelo utholakele uyokutshela kuyimanje bayahlukumezeka. Kuyaziwa thina abantu abamnyama sinama culture ethu nemndeni bahleli ku one room. 2 last EFF sifika la kunemithetho okwakade sikhuluma ngayo leyo kubuyiswa komhlaba ipolicy yethu le ikhona hamba uyibheke lemhlaba ikhona ngabe bayakhelwa labantu kubona inoma bakhelwe bayithatha lemhlaba bayidayisele laba bokufika la kulelizwe lethu iGNU yenu bese kuthi bakwazi ukuthi leyo mhlaba idayisela amabhenki lezo zindlu kufanele ngabe kwakhelwa laba bantu abahlukumezeka igcine leyo ndawo sekwakhiwa ingemali ezinkulu ukuze bakwazi bahlale ngikhuluma ngomama umuzo kamama 2 kuyimanje izulu liyana la elokhuzeni la eCape Town abantu bantanta emanzini kukhona omunye ade ekhuluma udoti wakhe la ethi upresident wethu wathi abantu mabebona umhlaba abakhe kuwona yini inkinga na yingoba abafuna ukulalela wayeshiso ukuthi abantu bakithi noma nayo imali yokwakha abakwazi ukunikwa umhlaba abantu bakithi abazokwazi bakhe kuyona ngithi niyayibona lonto yingakho abantu bakithi abamnyama bagcina sebemuka nemfula sekudaleka intandane emhlabeni kudaleka inkubela iyouth yale eSouth Africa ayikho into eneyithuthukisa ngayo ngaphandle kokuyithuthukisa ngamathaveni la wagcwele amalokishi wonke abantu abamnyama iyona ndlela ngibuyela kulabo abakhubazekile last year sasiku-study tour lento eGerman lana esasifuna ukwazi abanzi usihlalo ukuthi bona benze njani kubantu besifazane kulabo abakhubazekile benze njani bathi bona la eSouth Africa nabo kuhluke kakhulu umuntu okhubazekile nalabo abangakhubazekile babafaka esikoleni esi1 ukuze kuthi mangabe kukhona iplan enziwayo bayithole bendawonye nalona okhubazekile engayibona uyena ebuyele eceleni yingakho la eSouth Africa makwakhiwa izindlu umuntu okhubazekile akacatshangwa mangabe kuzoqatshwa akacatshangwa ngoba bayibethi la kuyibuilding ayikho into yokuthi bahambe bayokwazi bangene basebenze bacasha ngaleso sithupha lana ke kukhona la nikhuluma khona ngeEnglish yeni lenithanda kakhulu la nikhuluma ngama stakeholder ni right nathi sixoxile lonto ingakho ukuthi ngiyayichitha namhlanje wona uqobo lama stakeholder ethu ngingaba abafundisi yibona kanye abagcina bahlukumeze la izingane zethu bayayirape emasontweni bayesaba ngoba bakhulu nathi thina abantu besifazane awufuni ukukhuluma ingane yakho bireshwe umfundisi 2 ngabe u2 ngabe u3 uhambe uyibonela wena emakhaya sathi lo mnyango ufuna kuhambe uyofundisa abantu ngama rights abo induna amakhosi ngiyajabula emkhendi fuke namakhosi la ngisazowapheka ngilalela amakhosi uqobo iwona kanye ehlukumeza abantu besifazane uyabona kuyimanje what 8 olundi kunomntombazana ngizulesha igama lakhe kunontombazana wakazungu lo mntombazana usenkingeni yokuthi washiyelwa ukhokho wakhe umhlaba unama hectare u40 uthi ukwazile ukulima 4 akaze athuthukiswa ngithi ngiyazi khona umhlaba kuthi kulomhlaba alima kuyona unombili unayo yonke into kodwa uhlukunyezwa induna because indoda uyasatshwa udaba luzelwa isa ecourt maluyiswe ecourt lolu daba ifika kune court izovuna lo muntu uyaphuma mathiwa ka reapply futhi still kuthiwa kusazobhekwa kusho ukuthi ngamanye amazwi umuntu wesifazane la eSouth Africa uzocindezelwa yinduna namakhosi uphinde ucindezele esontweni uphinde ucindezele nala eParliament sibuka la eParliament ominister
Honourable member.
basekelwa wait kancane ominister besifazane basekela amadoda
Honourable member.
oyihlalo sifuna ukubazi bangaki la ilist yaza la eParliament anoke nisibalele ukuze sibone le committee lesebenza bangaki abantu besifazane even nakunini uqobo chair.
Thank you.
We want to see how many women and deployayo beza la how many women and banikezayo ukuthi bona uqobo
Thank
baba
you.
ma minister beside labantu
Your time
besifazane
is now
besilisa
expired.
bye bye nginendaba nesikhathi senu isikhathi ishu.
Honourable members. Order, order. Honourable members, the next speaker is the Honourable Khadebe from the IFP. It doesn't seem like the Honourable Khadebe, but welcome nonetheless, Chief Whip.
Mphathi wohlelo angibingelele uminister okwakuminister wami lapha ku transport. Ngibingelela uDeputy Minister usihlalo wecommittee. Ngibingelela amalungu onke akhona. Oqala ngixolise umama umacade ufana akhulume namhlanje kwathiwa ukuthi useshonele emndenini. Ufana ahamba ekhaya. Umfowethu uHadebeke nayo ufana akhulume manje usephumile khona into emphuthumisayo. Manje sengithi ke bahole ngoba umuntu okhona asedlulise nje kakhulukazi ukukhalela idepartment ukuthi imali enitholayo njenge department encane. Mawungabheka umsebenzi omkhulu obhekene nokuthi kuthuthukiswe abantu besifazane, umsebenzi omkhulu ukuthi kuthuthukiswe intsha, umsebenzi omkhulu ukuthi kwakhiwe izakhiwo ezilungiselelwe abantu abakhubazekile. Zichaza ukuthi imali efakiwe la incane kakhulu kunemali okufanele ukuthi lokho bengakhuleka kakhulukazi kwabaphethe department ukuthi ne committee le small business ukuthi abenze isiqiniseko ukuthi bayayiphusha ukuthi bakuncede minister ukuthi ukwazi ukuthola imali ngendlela ongakhona ngoba imali eninayo incane. Bese ngidlulisela einsizweni lezakwethu ukuthi bafethu sekumsebenzi wethu omkhulu lokuthi siyovikela abantu besifazane ngoba mawungabheka ngendlela ababulawa ngakhona nangendlela abadlwengulwa ngakhona ifuna ukukhombisa isithombe ukuthi amadoda eSouth Africa wekho. Manje ke isikhathi manje ukuthi kufanele sisukume sime ngenyawo zombili. Iforum le yamadoda siyiqinise ukuze sikwazi isiqiniseko sokuthi ikwazi ukuthi bavikeleke. Ukushona kwabo kulesimo esibhekene naso kuchaza ukuthi abavikelekile. Ikakhulukazi ke omama basemakhaya. Njengathi nje sisuke emakhaya kuba buhlungu mawubona omama besuka endaweni beyokha amanzi, bethola imigqomo, bethola izinkuni. Indawo abayihambayo zinde kakhulu. Ngalawo mazwi kodwa ke njengenkathi futhi umphathi siyayisupport ibudget.
Thank you, Honourable Member. The next speaker or the next party entitled to take part in the debate is the PA. Is there somebody who will take part on behalf of the PA? If not, we move on. The Honourable Denner from the Freedom Front Plus.
Thank you, House Chairperson. Honourable House Chair, it's an uncomfortable truth that women, youth and people with disabilities will always struggle to gain complete equality in any society. There are many reasons for this. In the South African context, as in many other countries, for example, around the world, socio-economic circumstances play a very big role in the struggle for equality. Plaaslik gaan ons jeug gebuk onder swak onderrig en ongekende hoë vlakke van werkloosheid. kommerwekkende hoë getalle vroue en kinders se lewens word deur geslagsgeweld bedreig en mense met gestremdhede word dikwels agterweë gelaat weens swak dienslewering, onvoldoende infrastruktuur en hulpbronne of die feit dat daar net eenvoudig nie die nodige moeite gedoen word nie. Hierdie moeite, werklike moeite om die lot van vroue, kinders en mense met gestremdhede te bevorder en verbeter, kom dan op die Departement van Vroue, Kinders en Mense met Gestremdhede neer. The entities which derive their funding from the department, namely the Commission for Gender Equality and the National Youth Development Agency, together receiving funding of nearly 1 billion rand, then have to perform to the standard expected of an entity being funded as much as this. Voorsitter, jeugwerkloosheid in Suid-Afrika staan na die eerste kwartaal van 2024 op 45.5%, with a need rate of 35.5%. This means that 3.6 million young people aged between the ages of 15 and 24 years are not in any form of employment, education or training. The National Youth Development Agency's vision is to be a credible, capable and activist development agency that is responsive to the plight of South Africa's youth in order to champion youth development with all sectors of society. But before it can be championed there, it has to be collaborated between the different departments who have a direct stake in youth development. The ultimate form of dignity that can be afforded to someone is the ability to care for him or herself and his or her loved ones. Our youth need the dignity of finding quality and sustainable work. The NYDA falls short on this matter. Collaborations with stakeholders with specific focus on youth employment creation should be first on its list of priorities. Die Kommissie vir Geslagsgelykheid doen goeie werk, maar weer eens, soos die meeste staatsdepartemente en entiteite, grootliks in silo's. Verslae oor geslagstransformasie in die staat en in die privaat sektor skets dalk 'n sekere prentjie van ons samelewing aan ons wat hier sit in die raadsale van ons land en om ronde tafels, maar dit maak nie 'n werklike verskil aan vroue in ons samelewing se lewens nie. Geslagsgebaseerde geweld byvoorbeeld, soos deur verskeie sprekers genoem, is 'n simptoom van baie dinge, maar onder meer van 'n ongelyke samelewing. Die simptome en die oorsake verg baie meer aandag en alle entiteite en departemente wat daarmee bemoei is, moet beter saamwerk om hierdie probleem uit verskillende oorde te takel. 'n Gedeelde las is 'n ligter las, veral as dit kom by 'n begroting. House Chairperson, people with disabilities are often forgotten and deserted by society. We were shocked to learn during the past week that there is, for instance, still no preferential procurement framework for government procurement from the Department of Labour's Supported Employment Enterprises. And the chairperson of the committee will know exactly what I'm talking about. An initiative where people with disabilities are employed to manufacture things like office furniture. The Department of Women, Youth and People with Disabilities should know about these initiatives, invest in these initiatives, promote them and push for something like a preferential procurement framework. This department should promote and protect the interest of women, youth and people with disabilities by promoting interdepartmental cooperation and collaboration. House Chair, I would just like to say this to the Minister. We are in different and strange political times, but we look forward to change in our people's lives, and we wish you all the best. I thank you, House Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Member. The next party to take part in this debate is ActionSA. Is there a speaker representing ActionSA? We welcome the Honourable Dr. Retlape.
Thank you to the presiding officer, the minister, and the deputy minister. It is sad for me to say that South Africa is killing its women. And my daughter was one of those 6 weeks ago. Disrespect for women is embedded in the social fabric of our society. And it commonly masquerades as culture, either of our traditional communities or of the church. We have 10-year-olds being impregnated, and you ask yourself, are they children? Are they youth? Or are they women? We have a lot of children without fathers. We don't teach our young men responsibility. They abandon their own children. When we encourage young men to behave in that manner, what do they become? I am from health, and we say prevention is priceless. When you lose a child, you can't cure it. But there's a lot that can be done to ensure that we deal honestly with the fact that we disrespect our women. I ask myself a simple question. Why do we still say, when people choose to get married, why do we still pronounce them as husband and wife when we have role definitions that devalue women, that turn women into commodities of their husbands? Why can we not move to pronouncing people as partners in marriage so that the status of women can be improved? Why do we still, as fathers, not give our girl children the same inheritance as we give our boy children? How can we hope for women to rise when everything in society is to keep them down? How can women rise when their own mothers will instruct them to endure an abusive partner? We need to ensure that we go down to the social determinants of GBV. We go down to the social determinants of homelessness. We go down to the fact that how do we expect youth that can take responsibility when they have never been children that were loved? When we never created environments for them to enjoy their childhood and grow? How can we come up with an ordinance for GBV and we make it an unfunded mandate? Where is the budget that accompanies the bill? We cannot accept from the president that he does not put the money where his mouth is. The budget is insufficient. Mr. President, do the right thing. Increase it, and we support it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Dr. Ikape. The next speaker will be the Honorable the Deputy Minister of Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities.
House Chairperson, Honorable Minister, Chairperson, and members of the Portfolio Committee on Women, Youth and Persons with Disability, honorable members, fellow South Africans, I must congratulate everyone who has been appointed to lead the 7th administration, following the clarion call made by South Africans on the 29th of May, 2024, at the polls. We are confident that this administration, under the capable leadership of President Ramaphosa, will rise to the task of reinstalling dignity and ensuring a better life for all, so that South Africa truly belongs to all who live in it. The will of South Africans from all walks of life was sealed and expressed through the peaceful and inclusive polls. It also struck a reminder of our preamble in our Constitution that we all have. And I quote that It says, believe that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, united in our diversity. Close quote. Chairperson, as we table the budget for the first year in the 7th administration, I'm reminded of the inauguration State of Nation address for our democracy by Utata Nelson Mandela, when he said, "The government that I have the honor to lead, and I dare say, the masses who elected us to serve in this role, are inspired by the single vision of creating a people-centered society. Accordingly, the purpose that we drive this government shall be the expansion of our frontiers of human fulfillment, the continuous extension of frontiers of the freedom. The side test of the legitimacy of the programs we elaborate, the government institution we create, the legislation we adopt must be whether they serve these objectives. We must construct the people-centered society of freedom in such a manner that it guarantees the political and human rights of all citizens." I close quote. We table this budget to advance the ideals of a government that is people-centered. This is a new chapter of a government that continues to expand the frontiers of freedom and guarantees the political and human rights of all citizens. Our government shall pass the acid test of legitimacy when evaluated against these ideals. Chairperson, I must commend the 6th administration in its target that was set in the 2020 to 2023 period. There will be directed focus on improving governance processes towards ensuring clean governance and management of the public purse. We stand here today with the department having received 4 unqualified audit opinions from the Auditor General over the period 2018-2019 to 2022-23 financial years. The occurrence of irregular expenditure was reduced from the department from 47 million in 2017-2018 financial year to 187,000 in 2023-2024 financial year. The department also improved on the payments of supply invoices within 30 days, from 99% in 2019 to 100% in 2022-2023 financial year. The 7th administration, we built on this progress towards ensuring clean governance and accountability. Chairperson, the rampant levels of gender-based violence and femicide in South Africa are a direct attack on the Bill of Rights. Particularly as women in our diversity in South Africa, we do not feel safe at work, in streets, in places of learning, in spaces of worship, as well as our own homes. This abhorrent social ill necessitated that President declares gender-based violence and femicide as a second pandemic after COVID-19. This also adds to the other additional public health threats and pandemics that country has been dealing with, such as HIV and TB, which pandemics disproportionately affect women, youth, persons with disability, and LGBTI community. The death of single person is a death too many, and we all must be really hostile to gender-based violence and femicide in all its iterations. Engagements will be held with various stakeholders towards all of society approach to ending this scourge, as we all agreed that there is no single panacea to address gender-based violence and challenge. We have held various presidential summits, and consequently, the National Strategic Plan on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide has been developed and been implemented. The President also asserted to the National Council on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide Act, which act establishes a council to establish coordination and coordinating our response to GBVF pandemic. The National Council on GBVF Act mandates us all to engage in an integrated and holistic consultative approach to address, among other things, mental health, social ills, and also substance abuse, harmful cultural practice, and a triple challenge of poverty, inequality, and unemployment, in which this case demands that prevention agenda be prioritized. These are some of the causes of teenage pregnancy, which should not be accepted as a norm in lieu of statutory rape, of which people must be held accountable for, and also address the prevalence of HIV and STIs. In the heart of this, our own country needs to deal with patriarchy, misogyny, sexism, homophobia, which perpetuate and contribute to these challenges. Chairperson, I must stress out our approach to gender-based violence and femicide cannot be business as usual. The implementation of NSP on GBVF is also linked to programs that are currently not adequately funded, given the current status quo presented by Minister. This reality must change. We call on Parliament to lobby that more funds be directed to what remains one of the biggest challenges facing the women of South Africa, who make up more than half of the population. Honourable members, the department continues to strengthen the implementation of the Sanitary Dignity Implementation Framework. The department undertook intervention to support the economic empowerment, participation and ownership of women, youth and persons with disability through collaboration with Small Business Development Department on Sanitary Dignity Program. In this context, we are working on value chain management within the sanitary dignity process to ensure that certain designated groups benefit from procurement set aside in the implementation of the framework. A business case model study has been developed, which includes empowerment through support programs to ensure competency in doing business with government. The aim of the research for this business case on sanitary dignity program has been examined in the economic opportunity, especially for the participation of women in the SMMEs, in the manufacturing, storage, packaging, distribution, and waste management industry within the sanitary value chain, while not forgetting the main purpose being the promotion of menstrual health for young girls at school. It is our wish that South Africa steps towards adequate access of sanitary products for all young women in their diversity, no matter their financial situation, with dignity and pride. Chairperson, the Constitution provides that everyone is equal before the law and has the right to equal protection and benefit of the law. Equality includes the full enjoyment of these rights and freedoms enshrined in our Constitution. Consequently, the Department of Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities implementing legislative and other measures to protect and advance the rights of persons with disability. It is a tried that the challenges experienced by persons with disability are gendered, and young girls and women with disability remain vulnerable and victims of gender-based violence and femicide, including crime for that matter, to a point that having children whose fathers are unknown. The Department of Women, Youth and Persons with Disability, working with the JCPS cluster departments, will continue to raise awareness on access to justice and redress for persons with disability to ensure that they fully access the social and justice system. The department, in collaboration with Department of Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation, conducted an evaluation on the implementation of a white paper on the rights of persons with disability, covering the period 2017-2022 to identify gaps that exist in implementing the policy directives and the 9 strategic pillars to promote and protect the rights of persons with disability in the country. We will continue to analyze the draft annual performance plans on government departments to promote disability-inclusive planning in the country. Unemployment remains a significant challenge for persons with disability in our country.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Minister. Your time is up. The next speaker will be Honorable Nontenja from the UDM.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, and good afternoon to everyone. The United Democratic Movement welcomes the report on the budget vote 20 of 2024-2025 financial year, although it arrives so late. The department is plagued with an array of challenges such as high levels of unemployment for youth and people with disabilities, gender-based violence against women and children, gender inequality, elderly abuse, and kidnaps and murder of children. The department serves as an agency where operational budget is mostly allocated to NYDA and CGE. For instance, on the 2023 budget allocation, transfer payments amounted to 827.4 million were made to CGE and NYDA, leaving the department with an operation budget of 209 million. In essence, these two entities do most of the work, which leads to a question of what exactly is the department paying staff members for, if there are no significant programs done by the department itself. Therefore, this calls for a crucial need to conduct an impact assessment on the work of the department to establish whether this budget has satisfactory results on the department's mission. Also, the UTM is asking whether there is any monitoring and evaluation taking place within the department. The UTM is also concerned that all 4 programs of the department reflect underspending in the last financial year, which makes us wonder whether the 2.6 million budget cut is caused by the under expenditure. This is disappointing that the department, as it is battling as it is, still had the funds being cut. These funds could have been utilized on empowering programs as women, youth, and people with disabilities continue to be subjected to social economic ills. Furthermore, the UTM is concerned that the administration received 55% of the operational budget. 63% is allocated to compensation of employees.
Honorable Member, your time has expired. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair.
Do we have anyone from Rise Mzansi? I don't see an indication. The next speaker will be Honorable Apiri.
Honorable House Chair, Honorable Minister, Honorable Deputy Minister, Honorable Chairperson of the Portfolio
Can you
Committee.
please hold on? Honorable Member from UDM and the DM, that is not allowed in the sitting. You can't have a speaker and you are busy giving each other cell phone numbers. Can you please proceed?
Thank Honorable members of this August House, ke a le dumedisha. Honorable House Chair, the liberation of women remains a fundamental goal and a cornerstone of a free and democratic nation. This commitment goes beyond mere words for the ANC. The party continues its efforts to unite all South African women, recognizing and addressing the diverse challenges they face due to factors such as race, class, ethnicity, religion, and demographic backgrounds. Given the historical oppression faced by women, especially Black women, the ANC maintains a strong focus on supporting working class and rural women. This reflects the party's enduring commitment to achieving equality and justice for all women in South Africa. The ANC recognizes that while some women have entered positions of public power, there has been a simultaneous marginalization of transformative gender politics. Despite women's inclusion in formal state institutions and the incorporation of gender equality into policy frameworks, this has not resulted in a significant redistribution of resources and power that will alter the structural foundations of women's oppression. The challenge lies in fostering collective action to actively develop and implement policies and practices that specifically address the needs of economically disadvantaged women. Honorable House Chair, the African National Congress wishes the recognized and applaud a significant stride forward in our ongoing mission to uplift the most vulnerable in our society. The ANC reaffirms its steadfast commitment to addressing the urgent challenges of poverty, unemployment, and food insecurity, especially in our nation's most disadvantaged districts. Looking forward to the 2023-24 financial year and beyond, the ANC-led is embarking on a transformative initiative through integrated farming cooperatives. Developed in collaboration with esteemed universities, TVETs, colleges, and civil society organizations, these initiatives aim not only to restore livelihoods and ensure food security, but also to create wealth and opportunities for our youth, women, and peasants with disabilities. The overarching objective is clear: to combat extreme poverty, hunger, and socio-economic insecurity by leveraging the potential of integrated crop livestock farming cooperatives. Through shared resources, equipment, and joint purchasing of inputs, these cooperatives will drive economies of scale, reduce costs, and enhance productivity and competitiveness among our farming communities. Furthermore, in partnership with the Cooperative Banks Development Agency and other stakeholders, the ANC-led is working to establish cooperative banking institutions. Sorry, Chef. This collaboration.
Honorable Apiri, can you hold on? Makaula, I would...
I'm not going to disturb anyone.
Wait.
Yes, madam.
I would really want to take what you want to raise, but this is a maiden speech.
Okay, wait. Okay.
No,
okay.
I've ruled. Can you proceed?
This collaboration aims to empower more women, youth, and persons with disability through accessible financial services, thereby ensuring the sustainability and viability of cooperative-based business nationwide. In developed economies, cooperative banks play a crucial role in robust financial system, and agriculture, known for its labor-intensive nature, holds immense potential to uplift communities and stimulate economic growth. Honorable House Chair, in the focus to developing the ocean's economy, it is essential to place women, youth, and persons with disability at the center of initiatives. This group should actively involved and empowered to participate in all facets of marine-related industries such as fisheries, aquaculture, marine tourism, renewable energy, biotechnology, and seed mining. Ensuring inclusive access to opportunities within the ocean's economy not only promotes economic empowerment, but also fosters social equity and resilience. Policies and strategies should prioritize skill development, access to financing, and support for entrepreneurship among women, youth, and persons with disability. This approach not only enhances their socio-economic status, but also contributes to the sustainable and inclusive growth of South Africa's coastal communities and economy. Revitalizing initiatives within the ocean's economy involves developing policies and strategies that promote responsible and inclusive economic activities. These include ensuring environmental sustainability, equitable access to resources, and maximizing the benefits for coastal communities and the nation. Skills development is crucial, Honorable House Chair and members. To date, in collaboration with the private sector, the Youth Employment Service has achieved a significant milestone of creating
Honorable
100.
Member, your time has expired. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. No, Chair. No, Chair.
Akawula, are you raising a point of order?
Ngiyabonga Sithemba sami, yebo. Ngokukhulu ukuyihlonipha njengomuntu afundisa inhlonipho. Bengithi mina ngemvume yakho Chair, umhlonishwa bengakhohlwa phela ukuthi manje bengalobethi ANC because bazoba senkingeni nangazi ukuthi sefuna be-GNU.
No, Honorable Kaula, that is a point of debate. That's a point of debate. There's no order there. Honorable members, do we have anyone from NCC? Honorable Kakao. Kakao.
Yes, even me, I want my elbow. Hi, Kilebo Hemotamaisori Pisano, Madume a Akarete. Chairperson, it cannot be that 30 years into a democratic dispensation, that South Africa still finds itself having unending debates about poverty and inequality with young people, women, and persons with disabilities located at the heart of all experiences of pain and marginalization. It cannot be that after 30 years of democracy, we have a government that prioritizes the availability and public distribution of condoms over the provision of sanitary pads for young girls who every month have no choice but to choose between either going to school or saving themselves from the humiliation and pain that comes with not having sanitary pads or readily available period pain medication across public clinics. And we welcome DM's will to correct this. It cannot be that after 30 years of democracy, one, young people aged between 15 to 24 years and 25 to 34 years continue to have the highest unemployment rates at 59.7% and 40.7% respectively. And that too, approximately 3.6 million of the 10.3 million young people aged between 15 to 24 years are neither in employment nor education and training. And that three, the rate of unemployed graduates increased by 2.3 percentage points to 11.8% in the first quarter of 2024. Chairperson, this was all true while the unemployment rates in the DA-governed Western Cape and the ANC, DA and IFP government of Provincial Unity-governed KwaZulu-Natal have consistently been below the official employment rate in SA for the past 10 years. This is why the core business of this ministry should be to work with every department to ensure the acceleration of the economic emancipation of young people. And I swear, this cannot be Euclidean geometry because the Democratic Alliance has shown through our manifesto to rescue South Africa that this is possible. We therefore look forward to seeing how our DA ministers and deputy ministers will champion the liberation and protection of young people. We look forward to the prioritization of one, the development of comprehensive support for young and emerging farmers in the Department of Agriculture. Two, accelerating the rollout of one-stop shops for young entrepreneurs across the country and the creation of a toll-free national call center as part of our small business development strategy. Three, a digital and communications strategy that will ensure that South Africans catch up to the current and future fourth industrial revolution trends. 4, providing adequate educational support and services for all learners, including learners with disabilities, while improving the quality of basic education in South Africa. Number 5, the legal documentation of young people from impoverished communities who depend on a valid documentation to get access to education, compete for jobs, put food on the table, and contribute meaningfully towards the growth of our economy. Number 6, clean drinking water and a working sanitation network so that every child can grow up in communities where access to uninterrupted supply of water is not a mere pipe dream where the streets they walk on aren't sewage pools. 7, protecting our economy from power cuts by ensuring that there is a sustainable supply of electricity. 8, fast-tracking trade and industry by removing import duties on selected business tools to support small businesses and promoting micro-lending by banks to support small business entrepreneurs to start or scale their businesses. And number 9, broadening access to quality higher education by reforming and decentralizing NSFAS, doing away with the blanket accommodation cap, and providing better support to TVET colleges. We have absolute faith in the rollout of these priorities, and because the DA always gets things done, we'll know they'll get it done. And I am sure our GNU partners also agree. Motsamaisi wa dipuisano re ke ra kgotsofala ho fihlela batjha bohle ho sa kgathallatseng hore na address tsa mahaba bona di hokae ba fumana menyetla e bonahalang ya katleho, mesebetsi le ho qoba bofuma. Ke ka ho leng bohlokwa ho netefatsa hore kantoro tsa NYDA di fihleleha ha bobebe ke bohle, mme di tswella batjha molemo. It is alarming that of the 1 billion budget of this department, that the funding allocation of the NYDA only increased by 0.2%. Chair, this is sad. It is sad because 6 out of 10 young people are unemployed in South Africa, and they depend on the NYDA to rescue them from poverty, forced prostitution, substance abuse, crime, and locked doors to opportunities. And surely they deserve better. Surely we can provide better funding and support to programs aimed at tackling the plight of young people. Surely we can prioritize and value young people better, because we do deserve better. So I'm requesting to the department, please do better. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kasawi. Honorable members, the next speaker will be Honorable Chauke.
There we go. Thank you.
Can you also adjust the mic?
Where is it? Give me the mic.
Give it to her.
Switch it on. It's on. Okay, thank you so much. Let me start. The getting here was quite a distance. Honorable members and honorable delegates, executives, and officials, and fellow South Africans who have joined us. We are here to support the budget of the Department of Women, Youth, and Persons with Disabilities, Vote 20. As the African National Congress, we recognize and realize that there have been significant progress post-apartheid. We are sitting here and reflecting on the gains of our democracy. Yes, there have been challenges that we have been faced with as women, as youth, and as persons with disabilities. We must appreciate that through our participation in the United Nations, we have been able to ratify the United Nations on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, now sitting with the white paper on the rights of persons with disabilities, which has allowed for persons with disabilities to become integrated into mainstream society, fully participate in the economic and social activities of our country. Through the white paper on the rights of persons with disabilities, their rights have been protected, they have been advanced, and also they've been heightened. We speak towards the acceleration and advancement of economic and social justice for all South Africans. Now, the department has made some significant strides despite the budget constraints that it has faced. The department has ensured that they've had various partnerships with stakeholders such as the Department of Health, the Department of Basic Education, the Department of Higher Education, and other departments to ensure the full integration and inclusion of persons with disabilities, their caregivers, and also their community members. Now, there have been various outreach programs, and this requires a significant budget in order for us to be able to sensitize society on the needs and the rights of persons with disabilities. It requires active citizenship. It requires for us to heighten our knowledge. It requires for us to destigmatize disability holistically within our households and communities. Through the partnership with the Department of Health, we are looking to develop six manuals that will address the issues that are facing persons with disabilities and also will ensure the advancement of economic and social justice. Now, we want to say, as the department works on this, as the African National Congress, we have shown our commitment to ensuring the participation of persons with disabilities in all facets of society. We want to ensure that no one is left behind, and we know that there is many things that are still yet to be done. There's still areas of deficiency and areas in which requires our immediate and direct attention. This can only be done through your active participation, can only be done through collaborative, innovative ideas coming together in addressing the challenges that are faced by this vulnerable collective. Persons with disabilities systematically have been excluded from participating in mainstream society. But through the programs that are being developed through the department, this can become a reality that is no longer to be felt by future generations to come. Now, as we stand here and we say, what is it that the department will do when it comes to communication barriers that persons with disabilities are faced with? Now, we know that the sign language is the 12th official language in South Africa. This is significant progress. This speaks towards the recognition of persons with disability and also a symbol of social cohesion. Now, if we do not prioritize sign language being integrated and fully absorbed in our early learning childhood development centers and also in basic education, we cannot see any progress. So the department has put a budget aside that would look to heightened awareness-raising campaigns, and intervention strategies, and also community development programs that will bring awareness to our communities on the developments that have been made by the department. Now, as the department as well, at the commitment that has been made that speaks towards skills development training for persons with disabilities to be able to effectively contribute towards a thriving economy. It can no longer be that persons with disabilities are not contributing towards the economy, but are taking from the economy. This is where the African National Congress has stepped forward to say, we want persons with disabilities to become fully immersed and active citizens by contributing towards a thriving economy. We say the grant system is in place to support, but we are saying by the creation of employment opportunities, persons with disabilities will be able to contribute towards their households, communities, and aspire to dream for bigger. The African National Congress ensures the full participation of persons with disabilities through self-representation in various political and executive positions. Comrades, it is, and honorable members, it is our collective responsibility to ensure that we leave no one behind. Let us pull each and every single individual together. Re remotengi onse zbena woza nawe relibita kamoka.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Chauke. The next and last speaker will be the Honorable the Minister of Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities.
Thank you very much, Honorable House Chairperson. I want to thank all the honorable members who participated in this important debate, but even those that came to join us in order to encourage us as we present this debate. I listened carefully as you were making your important contributions. I've taken to heart the constructive proposals that you have made, and we will actually get the report and the record of this debate from Parliament so that we're able to listen again to what you are proposing. I think I have to extend our heartfelt condolences to you, Dr. Mohape, on the loss of your daughter. For us, it means that GBVF is reality. It affects persons and family members. We extend our condolences to your family. I must apologize to all our stakeholders who we should have invited to this important event, where we table our budget before the people of South Africa. It all happened within a very short space of time. We commit to working with all of them, and of course that next year we'll definitely invite them to our budget vote. We agree with you, Chairperson, that indeed we need to collaborate with our communities and collaborate with all our stakeholders. Our department is implementing the treating GBVF as a pandemic to ensure that the whole society act to end this scourge. And we're all responsible for doing something and ending the GBVF in our homes, communities, neighborhood, and everywhere. Government also has set aside about 260 million for sanitary dignity packs distributed to the quintile 1 to 3 schools. Indeed, there are challenges with regards to distribution itself. We're attending to that. The department has actually presented it even to the portfolio committee. The issue of shelters and psychosocial services, those are the responsibility of the social development and of course not our department. For IR was covered in our presentation, and therefore we agree with the proposals that were made here today. We did Makaule visit victims of floods in KZN, even from the Department of Transport, but even this department we did. There are indeed challenges with regards to ensuring that they are housed. It's a matter that is receiving attention. But as you know, when you think that you are dealing with the KZN, then you're going to have the same problem in the Eastern Cape, you're going to have the same problem in the Northwest, and this therefore is becoming a real crisis, not only for the people of KZN, but for the country, including our neighboring countries and other countries as well. Of course, also we worried that women still fetch water from far. It is also true that it is women that actually are affected by this. That is why we're introducing what I refer to as ActionSA, so that we have engineers that deal with water analysis, but also who ensure that we have water in our areas. We are planning also to roll out training on parenting in order to ensure that parents are able to raise children who respect them. But I think the question that was asked here today is whether a 10-year-old can ever be a parent. And I think that is the question that we need to answer. But it is also an issue that you have so many people, young children, who have children, but we don't see them in courts, those that actually commit the statutory rape. And I think that we need to look at it as the department. We did understand as the department.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister.
I thank you.
I added a minute in your time.
I thank you very much, Chairperson, and I thank you to all of you. Thank you.
Honorable members, that concludes the debate and the business of this mini plenary session. The mini plenary will now rise. Thank you.